Build your own dressings, easy and convenient. I have to say, to be honest, for me, once I got into the habit of making my own dressings, I don't want to buy them anymore. So to buy them like in the refrigerator section of your produce section, you can buy the dressings that are have better ingredients in them, but they tend to be really expensive. There's one that was a Caesar dressing. The bottle, like it's like almost $10 for the little bottle, and I think you could get two, maybe three meals out of that. That's it. So it's so much easier just to make your own, and it literally takes no time. From Pacha Vega, Living Foods Education, and Pacha Vega is where I did my raw food chef training. It's an amazing program if you want to learn about raw food cooking. It's not even cooking, but raw food preparation. And this is a amazing, it's one of my favorite recipes. Happy
Mhm.
Friday. These
Okay.
guys are my you're here. So let's get going. Today
Okay.
we are going to do a little thing on dressings and sauces because this is how you can dress up your food. If you're having a bowl or you're having a salad, you can add the sauce to it and it just brings it to a new level. And even in a lot of when I watch some of the cooking shows on TV, those competitions, they're always like it has to be a sauce that comes with it. They're always looking for some sauce. And so I thought what we could do, inspired by Helene, we are going to look at our sauces. So the first thing I am going to do is actually share a little presentation with you. And we're going to go through how to make your own sauces so that you can experiment in your own kitchen if you would like. You don't have to, but if you would like, you can do some experimentation and come up with your own sauces. So I think this is the right one I'm sharing right now. Build your own dressings, easy and convenient. I have to say, to be honest, for me, once I got into the habit of making my own dressings, I don't want to buy them anymore. So the first of all, the ones that are on the grocery shelf, I'm not going to name, but there's a one particular brand that has a lot of dressings on the grocery shelf, and I will just admit that we have a couple in our fridge, but they're not mine. They're convenient, but they've got lots of additives in them. They are really not the best. And you can buy raw dressings. You can buy them like in the refrigerator section of your produce section. You can buy the dressings that are have better ingredients in them, but they tend to be really expensive. There's one that was a Caesar dressing. The bottle, like it's like almost $10 for the little bottle. And I think you could get two, maybe three meals out of that. That's it. So it's so much easier just to make your own, and it literally takes no time. And when I put all of this together today for the demo, I'm going to do two dressings. It literally took me 10 minutes to put everything together. The only thing we have to do is blend them up. So this, I really urge you to try making your own dressings. And some of the vinaigrettes, you don't even need to blend them up. I'm going to do two dressings that you blend up, but you don't even need to do that. You can literally just take the dressings in a measuring cup, stir them up, and have a great dressing. I love that. I typically
Yep.
use flax oil. So if I take
Mm.
my flax oil, I add a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of maybe some apple cider vinegar, maybe a little bit of lemon, a little dab of Dijon mustard, a little bit of garlic, and I have a dressing. It's so good and easy to make. But these dressings are a little bit more to them. So here's a little thing about how you can build your own dressing. So I've got two charts. One is a vinaigrette, and this one is really about putting some veggies into your dressings. And this was a new concept for me about a year ago. So you can start with a base. So you could do a veggie or a fruit. Excuse me. Where's my tea? I have a little bit of tea left. Let me have a little sip of tea. All right. So some examples, and you don't even need to roast these. I actually am not, I'm going to do a beet dressing for us, and I'm not even roasting the beets, but you can roast them. So you could do yams, parsnips, beets, squash, sweet potato, carrots, onions, whatever fits your fancy, apples, tomatoes as your base. Add a little bit of acidity. So that would be like lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice. So you could do like something with lemon juice, or you could do something like a Mexicano type thing where you use lime juice. That's typical. Orange juice will give you that acid and a little bit of sweetness as well. Apple cider vinegar, you could use beet juice. Add a little bit of a flavor boost. That would be your herbs and aromatics. So here's where you can put in your garlic. You could do ginger, dill. Oh, I love dill. Oh my gosh. Oh, they didn't have any at this fresh dill at the store. I was so choked. Anyway, cilantro is great. And cilantro is a really great detox herb. It binds to heavy metals and pulls them out of your system, like it pulls it out, the heavy metals. Then you could put in some lemon zest, some chives, so all sorts. And these are just examples. You can add a sweetener. Now, I want to say this says it's optional, but it is a game changer. So sometimes you get a little bit of a acid aftertaste. And just by adding a little bit of sweetness, it helps to balance out the flavors. So even though it's optional, I recommend putting a little bit of maple syrup or a little bit of honey. I do not do honey. If you do, that's fine. And then add your fat, which could be so for me, I add flax oil usually. You can use olive oil. If you don't have flax oil, olive oil would be the next. But the reason for the flax oil is because it's a high in omega-3 fatty acids. And it's actually more of a supplement than it is a fat. And then you can add water to get the desired consistency, or you could add, if you roast vegetables and you have some juices left over, you can add those to it. If you were to roast beets or any of these roasted things and you have a little bit of liquid left over, you can add that in as well. So this is one way to make a dressing. And then the other one that I like is if you want to add some root vegetables to make it creamier, you could even just add a baked potato to make it creamy. That would actually make it a creamier dressing. And just think of all the nutrients that you're getting in this dressing. So this is a great way to boost up your nutrients and have a dressing that tastes delicious. Now, the other one I have here is a vinaigrette type. And again, we start with a base, and this time our base is going to be cold pressed oil. So flax oil. Sometimes I'll use if I'm doing something that's more like a Japanese or Asian inspired, for that, I will do a roasted sesame oil. I don't do it often. You could do almond oil, avocado oil. I really recommend, if you can, to do the flax oil. Then you add in your acidity. So this would be your vinegar, your citrus juice. And look at this. This is rice vinegar we've got here. I have never used this Boshi plum vinegar. You could use something like that. I have used, what's that stuff called? Oh my God. I can't think of balsamic vinaigrette or a white wine or a red wine vinegar. So with the balsamic, you want to be careful it doesn't have a lot of additives in it because it's more of a processed type with the, I think, hang on, let me get mine. So I have organic balsamic vinegar. I don't know, can you see this on the side? I'll show it to you after.
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
It has cooked grape must and organic wine vinegar. So the sugar comes from the cooked grape must. And that's all, but some of them have additives. So this is the Kirkland brand. It's a big jar too, jug. You know, my Costco, sometimes Costco, not always, sometimes they have the best stuff and it's the most economical as well. Here's my flax oil that I use this is Flora. So this is a Canadian. I don't know how easy it is to get in the US, but this is definitely Canadian and you can get it probably at any health food store and a lot of the grocery stores as well. Whole Foods, what's the other one? Nature's Emporium carries it as well. I actually get mine at Nature's Emporium now. That's where I find the best price. Then you can add your flavor boost. So you can add your seasoning. You can add in some garlic, ginger, onion, turmeric, mustard. So you could use like Dijon mustard. You could use a mustard powder, depending on what you're doing. Miso is also good. I use miso like for an Asian inspired one. Coconut aminos, which is like very similar to a tamari, just a little lighter and less salty. You can add in some herbs and spices. So you can add in some dill, parsley, basil, oregano, thyme, cumin, paprika. Then you got your maple syrup. You could do date paste or honey. So this is where you get your sweetener. Again, it's optional, but I really recommend for flavor balancing, you add something in. And if you want to make it creamy, you can add in nut butter like cashew, almond, tahini. You could add in coconut yogurt, avocado. And so when you get into this creamy stuff, then you're probably going to want to blend it in a blender. And that's it. You just put it together and really usually it's about three to one ratio of oil to your acid and then adjust for taste. And like I said, I really recommend putting just a dab of sweetener in as well. I use maple syrup in this case. I would use date paste, but for convenience, I use the maple syrup and it's okay to have some maple syrup. All right. I don't know. Okay. So Helene, I'll have to get my Greek dressing for you. Remind me at the end. I've got it if I can find it. If you have any questions about how to make the dressings, and if not, I'm going to make a couple of dressings for you. So I'm going to move myself back as I do here into my prep mode. Okay, so here we go. There goes the dogs. All right, I'm going to start by making I was going to make the beet one first, but I don't think that's a good idea because the beet one has, I'm going to use the same mixer. I'm just going to not even clean it out. Just going to use the same Vitamix container because it's dressings and it's okay to have a little bit of extra left over. But I think I'm going to start with the garlic glory, which is a little lighter color. It's not, so I'll start with that. Okay. Let me get going here. So this is the garlic glory. It comes from Vega Living Foods Education. And Vega is where I did my raw food chef training. It's an amazing program if you want to learn about raw food cooking. It's not even cooking, but raw food preparation. And this is it's one of my favorite recipes. And they now sell something similar in the grocery store. It has nutritional yeast in it. So I have my oil And I've got olive oil here because I actually ran out of my flax oil. I didn't realize I was down that low. So I'm using, normally I would use the flax oil. And then I've got some nutritional yeast. Gonna add that in. I also have, let me remind myself, I need some apple cider vinegar, which I'm just gonna measure here. So I've got 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. Here. And then I'm going to do 1/3 of a cup of tamari. This is a Japanese brewed soy sauce. This one is gluten-free and organic. I get this one at Costco too. You could also use coconut aminos here. Either one. I'm going to add that in. So this is another one that's 1/3 of a cup. Add that in here. Of course, I have to add in some garlic. So I have some garlic that I cut up just before we started. So I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic. This is going to be garlic-y. And then I'm going to add in some water. I'm not going to add it all. I'm going to wait and see how it tastes. And that's it. So all I need to do is blend it up. And we will have a dressing. So this one you could, oh, I think I have to put in tahini. Never mind. Oh, cancel that. I'm waiting for the day when somebody says, hey, I watched your recipe and you forgot to add something in. Sometimes at the end, I'm like, juice, never anything major, just some. All right, so this is, it calls for a couple of tablespoons. So I'm just going to add a big hunk in. There. And that's the beauty of dressings. You don't have to be perfect with your measurements. I usually will like skimp and maybe not put as much oil in as they say. But again, the oil is okay. All right. So now we can blend it up. And you could add in, like we have, you could put in some, in the recipe, it says moringa powder, which is really good for you. But you could add in any other superfood powder like mushrooms, ashwagandha, whatever you want, really. Get a little extra boost of nutrition. Great. And that's about it. Like it's very quick to make. I'm just going to taste it. Now it's pretty runny right now, so I wouldn't put any more liquid in. But what happens when it is in the fridge? It actually will thicken up. Let me. Oh, it's one of my favorite dressings. I love it. All right. And now we made a pretty big batch. So all I'm going to do is put it in a mason jar. I might need another one. And then I can put this in the fridge. And I will have an amazing dressing here. I can use that for all my salads for the week. Yes. Or put it on something else. And again, it will thicken up as it sits in the fridge. That's the standard with all of these dressings. All right, I have a little extra, so I'm going to put it in here and use some of it for my, all right, little left over. And now we're going to make our beet dressing. So the beet dressing is pretty simple as well. And this one has the fresh foods in it, vegetables and fruit. So I have a beet here. And I didn't, you don't, it says roasted, but I honestly am fine without roasting it. You don't need to roast it. You can if you want to. So I've got my beet and I'm just going to cut it up. I leave the skins on. Now, if you're not used to beets, you might find the skins really earthy and you might want to take them off, but I leave the skins on and I just chop it up a little bit. Now my hands will get red. Of course, I washed the skin and took off the edges. All right, and I've got a Granny Smith apple here. I'm going to cut it up and put it in there as well, skin as well. So this is going to give it some sweetness. And again, just going to chop it up. You don't have to chop it into fine bits. Your Vitamix is going to be able to handle it. I just cut it up, throw it in there. And I'm going to put my cutting board to the side. I'm going to add in some flax oil here. This one is flax oil. It's the last of my flax oil. Guess what I'm buying at the grocery store today? And then I'm going to add in some lemon juice. So this is about 1/3 of a cup. And then I'm going to do 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm adding that in as well. Here we go. Go for this. Some garlic. We're getting a delivery. So I've got a clove of garlic that I'm going to add in. I have some lemon zest. So I'm just going to take this lemon and add a little bit of lemon zest in here. That's why I like to have the dogs outside, but it's too hot for them to be out. So it's in about a teaspoon of lemon zest, adds a little more lemony flavor. And then I am going to add a little bit of maple syrup to this one. So you could add like a teaspoon or tablespoon. I'm just gonna guess about
Costco maple syrup.
more Costco.
Costco. Yeah.
Organic Canadian maple syrup. Why not? Canada grade A. I remember I was working with a group on a project in Ottawa one year, and one of the ladies on the project that lived in Ottawa they had their own maple tree farm that they were tapping. So she brought some maple syrup in. It was like, we bought fresh maple syrup right from the tree. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, we don't get that very often. And that's it. Now I'm going to blend it up and see how it is. I think that's it. I think it's blended. Just check here. Get it. This one is thicker than the other one because it has the fresh fruit and the beet in there. There, so it's good. And you can thin it out if you want. I'm going to try it. So good.
Looks
Now,
good.
if you want, you can add some dill to this. If I had fresh dill, I would add dill. And you have a better than borscht dressing if you add the dill to it. It's like almost like having borscht.
It looks good.
It is good. I won't deny it's good. I was going to put it in a smaller one, but
Yeah, but what do you eat it with? What do you eat it
I'm going to
with?
have it with my salad. I'm going to make a salad now. So I've
What
got
kind of salad?
just a salad.
Like lettuce and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm just going to make a simple salad. And you can make whatever you want. Like you could put it in a bowl. So what I would do, and I'm not going to do it now, but what I would do, make a salad. But what I would do is like for dinner, I would make a bowl with lettuce, add in some fixings like I'm going to do right now. And then I would have maybe some chickpeas or something, a baked potato, and maybe a little bit of something else. I could roast some beets or roast some potato, like a sweet potato or butternut squash or broccoli, whatever you want. I put it in the bowl and I could add this sauce, either one of these sauces over top, and that'll just perk up your bowl. Oh my gosh, so much. And some people don't like sauces. They really don't. So I have a spring mix here. This is an organic spring mix. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 different leafy greens in it. So this is a great way to get a variety without doing any work. So I'm just going to take and add a handful of leafy greens into here. I got a big handful because they are. Now, what I don't like is the leafy greens some of them are big. So what I usually do is ahead of time, I just use a knife to cut them up so they're maybe not as big. So I don't have this humongous 2-mouthful piece of lettuce come into my field. I'd rather not. But that also makes it a little less condensed. I'm going to add in a little bit. So this is a hack. You can buy this stuff ready-made. You don't even have to buy it and shred it up. You can, if you want, if you're pressed for time. I have this coleslaw mix that has green and red cabbage and a little bit of carrots. Just going to add a little bit of that to the top. It's almost done. Easy salad. You don't even have to think about it. I have some shredded carrots. I can shred carrots at home, but they just go so fast. I'd rather buy them shredded. So I've got some shredded carrots. I can add to that. And then I've got some cherry bomb tomatoes that I've got that right off the vine. So let me just wash them. I'll just rinse them on the. All right, and I can cut them in half or just put them on here. And I have a little bit of a salad here. And then I can choose which dressing I want to add to that. Which dressing should I use, ladies? I could use a combo of both too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Mm.
What a great idea. I'm going to do a combo. So you can mix and match. And they'll stay in the fridge for at least a week. So you can have many salads to come with you. Now, one of my kids does not like dressings a lot. And I love them. So I have no guilt with these beautiful dressings to pour as much as I want. No shame whatsoever. I'm going to eat the dressing that I want. And that's it. An easy way. I'm going to toss it up now. And I've got a beautiful side salad here for my meal. And like I said, if you want to do a bowl, you could add in some chickpeas. You could add in other beans. You could add in some roasted vegetables, cooked vegetables, whatever you want. And you have yourself a delicious, satisfying meal. And that is everything. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be messy.
Debbie, is there quite a difference in taste from a roasted beet to a raw beet?
No,
I didn't.
I don't think there's a difference in
It
taste.
wasn't too bad.
No.
No, it wasn't too bad because it was really more than roasted. I think it was the way I roast the beets in the oven. It was fine. To me, it was the same.
Okay, it wasn't milder having a roasted beet, or possibly.
No, I find this pretty mild,
Okay.
but maybe it's because I already eat, I do a lot of beets and beet juice and stuff.
Yeah, you're used to it.
I'm
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
it. It takes a
Mhm.
while. Like I know sometimes when especially when you first start, this having the skins on makes a difference in the taste. It tastes more earthy. You
Okay.
add this, keep the skins on. So you might want to just start with cooked beets. The cooked beets is easier on your digestion as well. So if you have issues with your gut health or digestion, you may want to cook the beets to start with. Very easy to do. Now let me get the recipe to pop in the chat. And Helene, just for you, no, not just for you, but what I did is I included a download of in the recipe of that charts, the two charts I went over. If you would like to take a stab at making your own dressings. And then I'll see after I'm done that, I'll see if I can find so I did add an extra dressing in there that I didn't make on camera here. I didn't make live. It's a ranch style dressing that has cashews and coconut yogurt as the base. It's a combo of the two.
I'd like everyone
Well, you
some.
have a wonderful weekend,
Have a
everyone.
good weekend and we'll see you next week.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Bye.